What was the real intention behind Jungkook's 3 sentences that made ARMY cry? Why was it that after Taehyung's clarification, Jungkook made a statement that looked more like a farewell than an explanation? Is this a sign that something has changed forever in their relationship? What does Jungkook mean? These 3 sentences are a mystery to the ARMY. Jungkook issued a sad sentence after clarifying about Taehyung's problem. I just want everyone to know, not everything can go back to the way it was. There are things that can't be fixed, even though we care about each other. Thank you for everything, even if we end up on different paths. Why do these 3 sentences sound like a farewell speech? Why is it not peace that is created after clarification, but a new wound that opens deeper? Dan, is it true? This is a signal that Jungkook and Taehyung's relationship will never be the same again. Those words don't just come out. Not after the long-awaited clarification, not after all of ARMY's eyes and hearts were fixed on Jungkook, waiting for honesty, waiting for hope, waiting for the peaceful embrace that had only existed in dreams. But when he finally spoke, 3 short sentences came out that left more questions than answers. A hanging sentence, a piercing sentence, sentences that are like ending, not fixing. Instantly, social media exploded. The word Jungkook is trending in minutes. But not because of happiness, but because of the sudden fear fused in the chest of the ARMY around the world. Is this the end? Has the relationship that has been BTS's emotional strength really changed? Are there any injuries that have never been discussed, even by themselves? I just want everyone to know, not everything can go back to the way it was. This sentence sounds like the last whistle in a long game. And the competition is a struggle to maintain a friendship that has been held back for too long in pressure, demands, and false calm. The ARMY who witnessed Jungkook deliver the sentence could not hide the tears. Even those who had believed it would all end peacefully began to question, since when did Jungkook keep such a heavy sentence? What happens after clarification? Why is it precisely after all sorted out? Jungkook looks more hollow. The look in his eyes when he said the 3 sentences was as if it were not the gaze of someone who had just solved a problem, but someone who is surrender. And that's what made the ARMY's heart crack. Because for them, giving up is not a word synonymous with Jungkook, the magne who is always strong, always trying, always full of hope. There are things that can't be fixed, even though we care about each other. That second sentence hit harder. Because if it's not about the relationship with Taehyung, then who is it about? Why should it be pronounced at a time when all hope on improvement? Does Jungkook really want to say that the relationship with Taehyung can no longer be saved? The fandom analysts tried to parse every word. Some refer to it as a form of acceptance. But others, and this is the most painful, took it as a tacit admission that the wound between Jungkook and Taehyung was too deep to be sutured. The question is, where did the injury come from? From the quarrel that had circulated the issue when they returned to the military camp? From Jimin's message that makes the atmosphere more murky? Or of something more personal, longer, and deeper than the public has ever known? The word different path in the 3rd sentence makes things even more complicated. Thank you for everything, even if we end up on different paths. Different roads. Is this a metaphor? Or is this a literal statement about their future? Is Jungkook talking about their personal relationship? Or is this already going in a professional direction? Career, solo projects, even the possibility that they won't be together on the same stage again. The most emotional part of the statement is, no one knows for sure. And that's exactly what makes it painful. Uncertainty, obscurity, and pieces of statements that leave empty space in the hearts of every ARMY that has struggled to believe that BTS, no matter how shaky, will always come back intact. But are we witnessing a different reality? Even bigger questions arise. Did HYB know about this condition before clarification was carried out? Did the clarification really come from Jungkook personally, or was there pressure behind it? And the most touching, why is Jimin not even visible when Jungkook delivers the sentence? Jimin's absence sparked new speculation. He, who had been the bridge between Taehyung and Jungkook, was not present. Does this mean he is involved more deeply than we know? Or is it because he knows something that is not ready to be revealed? Some ARMY even mentioned that there were pieces of sound heard behind Jungkook's clarification video, like the muffled voice of someone saying, "Don't say that." Although it has not been verified, this allegation has shaken enough fans' confidence. If it is true that there are words that want to be prevented but still spoken, is Jungkook rebelling against the narrative that management wants to shape? If so, then it's not just a personal matter. This was the sharpest emotional moment in the history of their relationship, a clarification that turned into a gesture of despair, a confession that does not explain, but opens up old wounds. What does Jungkook mean? Only he knows. Those 3 words have become legends, printed in ARMY's heart, repeated on social media, analyzed in every forum, and more than anything else, remembered as the sentence that changed everything. Sentences that do not ask us to understand, but force us to feel. A sentence that will probably be the beginning of a new chapter, or the end of something that we have always considered irreplaceable. To date, there are no additional explanations. There are no follow-up videos yet. There's been no statement from Taeil, Jimin, or even HYBE yet, but one thing is certain: the ARMY will not stop asking questions. Never give up hope. I won't stop, even with a heavy heart, because the 3 sentences are not just a mystery, but also, Luca, a wound that binds us in one sense, a loss that has not happened, but has been felt since it was first heard. And now we can only wait, while continuing to ask, what does Jungkook mean? Why now? Dan, is this really the end of something we never wanted to end? But the one thing that really broke ARMY's heart was Jungkook's expression after he said his 3rd sentence. The camera had time to highlight his face a few seconds longer than usual, as if someone behind the scenes knew that those seconds were the most important. There was a clear doubt in his eyes, as if he had just realized the impact of his own words. But he didn't pull it back.
No apologies.
There is no additional explanation. He just looked down, smiled slightly, then shut up. A very long silence, which speaks more than any word. Why didn't he explain more? Why leave it hanging? That's what makes everything so mysterious. If Jungkook really wanted to convey clarity, why exactly leave the confusion? If the intention is to calm the atmosphere, why precisely create a new storm? Some ARMY even referred to this moment as a breaking point, because the look on Jungkook's face, even though he tried to be tough, implied tremendous emotional exhaustion. Does he bear a burden too heavy to be fully spoken of? Even more suspicious, the clarification video is only available for 24 hours. After that, the video was removed from the official channel, not stored in the archive, not re-uploaded, not explained the reason for removal. Is this HYB's strategy? Or is this a personal request from Jungkook? And if it is indeed asked to be deleted, what exactly does it want to hide? Why did those 3 sentences have to be hidden after they shook the world? Clues after clues began to be collected by the ARMY that did not remain silent. They checked the background of the clarifying video, observed the background noise, checked the reflections on the rear monitor screen, and even calculated the duration of the pauses between each sentence. Not a few mentioned that the sentences felt like pieces of a longer script which may have been censored, cut, or withheld by certain parties. Some of the most painful speculations arise from unexpected directions. Some say that the sentences are actually addressed not only to Taeil but also to someone else who is very close to Jungkook, someone who used to be with him in his most vulnerable moments. Jimin, is it possible that this is about a 3-way split? Could it be that Jungkook is implying that not only with Taeil is his relationship tenuous, but also with Jimin? If true, then this is not just an internal conflict. It's an emotional crisis at the center of BTS' most powerful bond. And if the 3 people who have been the main axis of the group's emotional connection begin to lose their way, what remains? Even more painful was when the ARMY began to realize that not a single other member had given open support after that clarification. No comment from RM. There were no soothing words from the genie. Even Suga, who is usually very vocal, chose silence. Were they asked to be silent? Or are they processing something bigger, deeper, and more painful than can be said? Behind the scenes, rumors began circulating about an internal meeting between BTS members and management. Some anonymous sources claim that Jungkook's clarification was not part of the original plan, but rather a sudden decision that surprised even Taeil himself. It is said that Taeil was angry after learning about the contents of the video, feeling abandoned and betrayed, because Jungkook's statement seemed to put him at the center of a problem that could not be fixed, and this is where the old wound. But it was precisely when everything was quietest, when no more words came out from Jungkook, from Taeil, even from Jimin, that's where the army started to really feel alone. That clarification, which was supposed to be soothing, was actually the beginning of a wider chaos, which spread to their hearts. Jungkook delivered 3 sentences, but the impact was like 3 wounds left gaping without bandages, without medicine, without the healing embrace that used to always come from the togetherness of the 7 of them. Then small voices began to appear from behind the stage. Voices that had been unheard, but now became a terrifying echo. Some of the former longtime staffers posted confusing things, not directly naming names, but giving vague clues that led to something that had been hidden. One of the most heartwarming posts reads, "Sometimes, the ones who are seen smiling on the screen are the ones who cry the most in the makeup room." Is it about Jungkook? Did he have something he couldn't share even with his closest friends? Other questions began to arise. Has the pressure to maintain a perfect image separated them? Are major behind-the-scenes projects, such as album preparation, global promotions, and internal company drama, a stumbling block that they can no longer avoid? And if so, why did Jungkook choose to speak first, the first sentence about parting direction, as if to indicate that he had long felt walking alone? The second sentence about hoping it's all no one's fault sounds like it wants to defend, but it also sounds like someone who has given up on explaining. And the third sentence, the most heartbreaking, "If you can't understand, at least listen to me," seems to contain a request that comes from a soul that is tired of screaming in silence. But who doesn't listen to him? Who doesn't understand it? Taeil? Jimin? Or all of us? And amid the confusion, a mysterious account emerged, uploading snippets of videos that never aired. The length of the video was only 7 seconds, but enough to burn the curiosity of the entire army. In the video, Jungkook is seen crying backstage, wearing a dark hoodie, while saying one sentence he has never said in front of the camera: "I'm also human, young. I can be disappointed too." To whom did he say that? Who is Hyung? Is it to Taeil, who has always been the one he relies on but is now away? Or to Jimin, who had always been with him but now just disappeared without a trace? And was the sentence delivered before clarification, or precisely after? This mystery turned into an emotional storm. Thousands of speculations flooded the fan community around the world. Large fan bases began forming closed discussion rooms to explore the hidden meaning of every word Jungkook spoke. Some even do a linguistic analysis of the intonation of his voice, hoping to find clues as to whether he is speaking honestly, holding back anger, or actually conveying a message that has been packaged by a certain party. Then came another, more alarming theory that the 3 sentences weren't actually 100% from Jungkook himself. Some say he was pressured to speak, or worse, given a script to deliver. This theory is reinforced by the expression on his face that seems unnatural at the mention of the second sentence, as if there was a part of him that wanted to reject those words, but could not. If it is so, this is not just a conflict between members. It is a story of control, pressure, and injustice that has taken away the emotional freedom of idols who have been considered symbols of strength and love. But in the midst of all that grief, there was one thing that broke ARMY's heart the most: Jungkook's change of attitude after that clarification. He no longer greets his fans like he used to. He disappears from social media more often. And in one rare moment when he was caught on camera by fans at the airport, he just walked quickly with a hoodie over his head, without turning his head, without smiling, without waving his arms as usual. Is Jungkook protecting himself? Or is he processing wounds that are deeper than they appear? ARMY knows Jungkook is not the type to give up easily. But they also know that Jungkook is a very sensitive person, who feels everything deeper, who never said anything in vain, especially in public. So when those 3 sentences came out of his mouth, Army knew that behind them was an invisible explosion. And now, after everything has happened, there is only one big question hanging in the air. What does Jungkook really mean? Is he apologizing? Say goodbye? Or convey a secret message that we have not yet had time to understand? Perhaps those 3 sentences are not the end. Perhaps they are the beginning of something much bigger, something that has not yet been revealed, something that will only be known by those who really listen, not just hear. And for now, we can only ask, ponder, and wait.